favorites to win it all. 5 games later, the number 1 seed in the NBA bounced out the first round in all-time collapsing fashion. Huge back-to-back double-digit blown leads in games 4 and 5. The team was supposed to be the next dynasty put in place. A franchise all-time great, many consider the best in the game, but getting outplayed, destroyed, abused, annihilated, humiliated, and obliterated by a team that nearly missed the play-in entirely. Jimmy Butler embarrassed, tortured, wrecked, defamed, dismantled, and shattered Jrue Holiday in one of the greatest one-sided beatdowns we have ever seen. The fact that this team made absolutely zero adjustments, no double team, and allowed the hottest player to do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, not once but twice. Mike Budenholzer should be absolutely ashamed of his all-time coaching disaster in what's supposed to be a cakewalk of a series. The fact that Milwaukee lost in 5, not 6 or 7, the most shameful first-round exit in a decade. John Horst a busy offseason, the useless bench old guys barely in shape getting them minutes, the coaching staff organization, a superstar lacking a post-game, a point guard that chucks too much, and bad foul shooting ultimately led to this epic downfall. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. The 2023 Milwaukee Bucks has officially become the biggest playoff absolute travesty of the season. What a pathetic disgrace, disgusting collapse for the ages. Coach Budenholzer should never ever become an NBA coach ever again for any team. Absolutely sick to my stomach. The lack of adjustments, continuously wrong reads, a fossil on the bench, just letting Jimmy Butler torch his team non-stop. Coach bought the second most valuable Heat closer on the sidelines, no timeouts, shrugs his shoulder. South Beach to Pfizer Forum, down the stretch, team gets colder. Bubble flashbacks, aka Heat culture. Jimmy Butler told her. The Greek freak twerked his back, his bench, nobody picked up the slack. Jrue Holiday, quack quack. Fourth quarter Jimmy Butler called you whack. Took you to the rack, ate your snacks, saw the green light, every shot sweet like Apple Jacks. Supposed to play till June, team on a holiday before May. Jimmy Buckets fade away. Final buzzer sounds later, eh? Last possession, absolute depression. Grayson Allen, where's your talent? All backboard, absolutely no balance. Time expires, season retired, Bucks pulled a flat tire. Joe Ingles, age 35, Gabe Vincent ate him alive. Wait by the Cavs, Kevin Love getting some laughs. Oh, and y'all thought I forgot about Jay Crowder? 1.8 points, absolutely no power, no team connection. Where's the plug? Forgot his router. 7 points, lost and found, nothing on your browser. 5 second-round picks, 3 of 13, shooting bricks, makes the Phoenix Suns prouder. Number 99, joins Carl Towns, drink some wine, now go cry louder. 32 years old, off-season, looking washed up, go take a shower. 0 rings, cheers to Cancun happy hour. Absolutely gut-wrenching blow. The first priority, hire Nick Nurse or a coach that's willing to make adjustments. Looking back 2 years ago, the pathetic meltdown game 5 at Brooklyn, Bud refusing to make adjustments and let Kevin Durant cook his team for 49 on the ropes after down 0-2. How ironic, Kyrie reminded everybody just days before getting eliminated. If Giannis didn't step on his ankle, Brooklyn likely wrap up that series. The Milwaukee Bucks should be thanking Durant's big foot being on the line to help them win a title. Bud should give KD half his ring. And also needs to thank absolute travesty Joe Harris for breaking his way helping Milwaukee win that series. That was the last time there were any major talks about Bud's lack of coaching, and yet still don't learn from his mistakes. Allowed Jimmy Butler to average nearly 40 points for the series on near 60% shooting. Watch his guy Jrue Holiday gets dismantled over and over and does absolutely nothing about it. The lack of adjustments, not calling any fucking timeouts when he had 1 in regulation and 2 in overtime. Eric Spoelstra absolutely outcoached the hell out of Bud, just as bad as Butler destroying Holiday. This is even worse than Doc Rivers' bubble choking job. Not only did Bud not run any plays the last 8 minutes of the fourth, both games 4 and 5 let the big lead slip away. An average NBA coach with this Bucks team would have been up 3-2 this series. 2 years left on his contract, his lack of change. No way in hell his team can win another title if he's on the sidelines. Watching last 2 games, nobody would believe they have the best record in the league. Up 2 with the ball, allowed Jimmy Butler to catch it inside for a lob, took Brook Lopez out the game, thinking Miami would go for the win. If that wasn't enough of a fireable offense, with time remaining, doesn't use a fucking timeout to advance the damn ball? An absolute disgrace of a malfunction. Where was his head at? Even Spoelstra is super surprised by continuously allowing Holiday to get torched every possession and keep putting him on Jimmy. At least Giannis, even with a bad back, his length and size can at least do something better. Team looked incompetent out there, looked like they were trying to lose on purpose. Given all that experience, the bright lights seemed too much for them. Giannis might have missed those games early with the injuries, but he was there for games 4 and 5, simply no excuse. Both losses, being a top 5 defense in the NBA and getting toyed by Jimmy Butler for a number 1 seed to fall apart this quickly. It wasn't like this series won 6 or 7, but losing in 5 games as the number 1 seed round 1 in a best of 7 series, the first time this ever happened, no chance in hell Coach Bud can win another title. Getting outscored the last 2 fourth quarters by a combined total 32 points. Didn't even need to focus on the second best scoring option in Tyler Hero. Color commentator Brendan Haywood kept urging, time for ABJ defense, anybody but Jimmy, and yet the Bucks failed massively. Having Giants in Lopez and Giannis, you're telling me he didn't want to draw up any plays and use the timeouts in regulation, and in overtime, Giannis falls down the last possession, the buzzer sounded, having the ball in Grayson Allen's hands? Absolutely indefensible. 3 baskets the entire fourth quarter of Game 5, all that regular season winning to melting in the postseason from the bootlegged 60-win Hawks in 2015, the worst number 1 seed all time. Only 2 of the 9 times his team having the lower seed have won a playoff series, which was 2021 against Brooklyn and Phoenix, thanks to his stars balling out. With guys on the other team injured, from sticking to regular season patterns and refusing to play Giannis more than 33 minutes, both the 2019 and 2020 playoff runs should have gotten Bud fired instantly. Having Giannis guard old man Kevin Love out there when Jimmy Butler's going full on Jordan, all the great coaches wouldn't have allowed this to happen. Giannis even said he wished he could have taken turns on Jimmy.
Do you think you made enough adjustments over Jimmy over the stretch of this series?
We didn't. I don't know, maybe double teaming more, try to make him pass the ball, maybe, I don't know, switch the matchup for a little bit, give Drew a break, 2-3 minutes. But I don't think as a team we made the right, or we didn't make as many adjustments as we could against him.
Respecting coach's decision, but at some point, Giannis gotta be like, F all that, I'm gonna guard him. But earlier in stretches, Butler was still giving Antetokounmpo the business. But come fourth quarter winning time, the so-called best player in the world gotta guard the other team's best player, plain and simple. And that didn't happen, that's why they lost. What a disastrous way to end the season, simply inexcusable. And Giannis, who's on track to being an all-time great, a bump on the road, the most painful series of his superstar career, similar to Dirk Nowitzki 07 team, losing to Golden State. At least Giannis won't be winning MVP this season over Joel, so he doesn't have to get an award at home, but lots of massive flaws. The running and dunking not as easy. In the tightly defensive half-court type game, a liability as a jump shooter, continue to shoot outside shots. The 28-year-old won't be dunking on everybody forever, needs to rely on athleticism. Giannis simply needs to develop a consistent post game for the playoffs, not just run at everybody and draw fouls. Get hurt going full steam on Kevin Love, but even when aggressive, going 10 of 23 from the line, the third most missed free throws in an elimination game ever, an absolute travesty of an elimination game, 3 of 9 from the stripe, fourth quarter and overtime, 1 of 9 from the field in the fourth quarter, scared of getting fouled to almost throwing the ball away. Giannis simply didn't want it in crunch time. Unlike the Jokic and Embiids of the world, those guys actually have polished skills and go-to offensive moves, getting buckets, instead of relying on athletic gifts. The awful foul committed on Matt Strus in overtime, that is so unlike Giannis. Despite the 38.20 rebound stat line, always gotta respect the Greek freak for trying his best, but getting multiple heat to foul out and still struggling to dominate, having no bag, simply needs to address his flaws if he wants to take his game to the next level. Even in the close games Milwaukee won in 2021, Chris Middleton played like a superstar. The timely mid-range jumpers, But after the knee injury, Mitty hasn't been the same. If Chris doesn't have that type of ability anymore to put up 30 points in big games, Giannis simply needs another high-level half-court scorer, a liability in certain areas, weird-looking flip shots. His body language showed wasn't too comfortable on the post, resulting in misses. Unless Giannis goes 17 of 19 from the line like Game 6 vs Phoenix, the whole team don't gotta worry, but that's not happening 95% of the time. To not even extend the series makes this a massive disappointment. No doubt he'll bounce back, improve, just a fork on the road, but the front office, super important decisions to make. While Middleton will be turning 32, just 33 regular season games after 2 playoff games last season, many look at his injury to why the Bucks didn't repeat. But given how bad Bud has been, do you really trust Budenholzer over Steve Kerr and Golden State? A player option for 24, then a free agent. Having already won a title, is Middleton even a top 40 player in the NBA anymore at his best? Already gotten paid tons of money. Can he continue being the number 2 option to win more titles? Now more injury prone than ever, didn't play too poorly in the series and wasn't the reason why the team lost. No longer a max player given his unavailability, but still a good starter at the 3. Losing him and Brook Lopez for nothing would be an absolute catastrophe. Paying him at the right place considerable. 4 years, $100 million could be an option. Retaining Middleton, working in the pick and roll with Giannis, still lethal with the right coach in place like a Nick Nurse who can actually draw plays. Running it back with the main core is fine as long as the bench gets younger. Shown in the playoffs, bench was absolutely terrible, especially having to depend on 21 minutes, not known for winning championship, Wesley Matthews, a post-ACL, slowpoke sleepy Joe Ingles. And 5-second rounders for the pathetic no-show J4 of himself Crowder when the team mistakenly chose to extend Grayson Allen and let Dante DiVincenzo go for absolutely nothing. Dante's relentless rebounding and defense, being able to hit some threes, letting PJ Tucker go, literally nobody to replace his impact. Just some of the decisions that still haunts the team. While Drew absolute Travesty Holiday ranked the NBA's best defender and most underrated, he's now officially overrated. Known for his defense, Butler punished, bullied, toyed, ragdolled him, talked trash to his face while down 6 is absolutely disgusting. How Jimmy wasn't an all-star this season and Drew was, only cause the Bucks were winning. Repeatedly got cooked, a lackluster 40% shooting from the field for the series when his D was not working. Letting Jimmy score 98 points, games 4 and 5 combined, a beatdown for the ages. Just an average offensive player. Takes awful step back threes, wildly inefficient, even in the Nets and Suns series. Holiday shot 36%. Last year versus Boston, also 36%, but made strong impacts on the defensive end, avoiding more backlash. Will turn 33 next season, making 36 mil, a player option the next, overpaid, not good enough, being the second best player on a title team, even worse playoff true shooting percentage than Eric Bledsoe, super erratic shot taking, not somebody you trust with the ball. When Giannis shooting back from the line, Jrue Holiday simply not good enough to be a good shot maker, getting all the praise and positivity due to having a different play style from most guards, but after getting old and bullied by Butler, shot just 10 of 30, 4 of 17 from deep in 4 and 5, an absolute travesty of a series. Not reliable offensively, can't run the point well enough without taking them awful shots. If he wasn't on a contender, realistically, nobody would even mention Jrue Holiday. Almost throwing the ball away resulted in the Middleton foul on Lowry, then having the jump ball, breaking a clutch free throw. Needs to be more of a 4th option on offense instead of a 2nd. Play more of the 2 than the 1. Adding a pass first point guard like a Tyus Jones or even a Mike Conley would help make the Bucks playoff offense more smooth. Center Brook Lopez likely a mid-level guy, 3 years 50 mil realistic, especially being 35 unless some team overpays him for 100 million. Not owning much picks, new ownership in place, John Horst, heavy decisions this summer. The team still be heavy contenders, many would even pick them to win it all next season as long as they get a better coach. Their biggest issue right now, if Giannis really the face of the league this decade, true champions find a way to bounce back from devastating losses. Despite what Giannis said about failure, the reality is This result his tragic Johnson moment. Being the number 1 seed bounce early like this when many picked this team to win it all, no matter how you look at it, this was an absolute failure. The collapse will still be talked about for years. Mike Budenholzer deserves 75% of the blame. The rest goes to the players, unlike the previous season's travesties. We already seen how Giannis can overcome heavy adversity, unlike the Ben Simmons and Rudy Goberts of the world, but needs the proper help with a better coach and a more polished arsenal if Giannis ever wants to win more titles. Is this the biggest upset all time? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.